Hi all, good morning, good afternoon. Hope you are doing well. In today class, we will come up with another interesting video on N10, and we will see how we will design that complete workflow end to end, which will make our life easy to build the test case. Okay, what exactly the plan to build the workflow today? So my plan is to build one workflow which will automatically generate my functional test cases based on the user input. So that I'm going to design in few minutes. So I'll just back to my agenda. So what exactly I have to do to build that particular automation workflow? So my workflow name should be functional test case generator. That will be completely optional, you can give any name. And then I have to use one of the trigger event is called on form submission. So in the on form submission I have to provide the couple of field details like name, email, user story, and test type and acceptance criteria, and the number of test case user want to generate. Okay, all these informations I'm going to capture from the user, then I'll send that to AI agent. Then from the AI agent we will start interacting with LLM, and no, it will start building the test case. Yes, now I'll quickly go and start to build the automation workflow. So I hope you have created the N10 account, and you have open your N10 .ai website. Once you have opened, then you have logged into your N10 account. Then you have to click on create workflow. So once you click on create workflow, first of all you have to rename your workflow to called, I'll just go this, I can say this is my workflow name. I'll just copy it, I'll just rename it, it's called test case generator. Okay, so once I rename this workflow to functional test case generator, then I have to go here, add my first step. My first step would be one of the trigger node. So the trigger node, you have gone through how exactly the manual trigger will work, and on schedule on webhook calls similarly. So there is another trigger node is called on form submission. So in the on form submission I'm just using within the N10 platform, that's why I'm going to use test URL. If you want to plan to test that from outside the N10 platform, then you have to go ahead and use the production URL. Okay, so first I'll quickly give my form name is called functional test case generator form. Okay, and the title I can give also, this functional test case generator form will help you to generate test case from your user story. Okay, perfect. So then next we'll go and add couple of fields, like the field number one will be the name of the user, and this will be the text is input, and the attribute will be the placeholder, I have to add it. Okay, and the second will be another I can say the field is email, and I'll put that email field. Okay, and the type will be email, and the attribute will be a placeholder. Then the next I'll go ahead and add another attribute is called user story. So the user story I'll put which will accept from the user. Okay, then the type will be, I can say, is a text area, because there might be a possibility of multiple line of text the user is going to provide, and this will be the placeholder. Then the next is I can provide test type, what kind of test the user plan to build. Can be a functional test case, or can be a non-functional test case, or can be a performance test. So accordingly you have to give. So I'll give the test type. So my field name, and the text input will be a drop down. So in the drop down I have to provide the options. So I can see my options will be, first of all I can say functional. Okay, so let me add a field options here. So I can say functional, or then I can say another is called non-functional, So non-functional means for your security, your accessibility, your visual testing, all such things will come under the non-functional. So then next is I can add another called performance. Okay, so I at this point of time I'll just add these three sections, so you can add as many ads you want, so that's fine. I'll have added three sections. Then the last is I will add the acceptance criteria. So on what will be your acceptance criteria of the user story, so accordingly my agent will build the test case, and this will be a text area. Acceptance criteria can be also multiple lines. Then I'll click on attribute is a placeholder. Then the last is how many number of test cases you want to design, so you can say number of test case. So from that particular user story, how many number of test cases you want to build it, that you have to define. I can say this is a number, and I can say this is a placeholder. Okay, so it can be 20, 10, 5 number of test cases you can build it. Okay, that's it. So perfect. So now I'll close this. I'll go back to my node. If you see, the node is created. If you just execute the workflow, this form will be come up with called functional test case generator, and this is the description of the test case. You can fill the detail. Let's assume I'll fill the detail is called name is Vivu, and email ID is qtpvivu@gmail.com, and then I'll provide my user story. My user story will be, this is my user story, I'm going to put it. Okay, so let me go to my doc. I'll find my user story somewhere here. Okay, let me check it where I kept this. Yes, this is my user story. 1 second, let me figure out. Yeah, this is my user story. So I'll just put this user story. Let's assume you can put any user story, is completely all depend upon your requirement. Okay, just I'm an example I have given this user story. So you can say, let me stop it again. I'll open it and I'll put Vivu qtp vivu @gmail.com. Then I'll put my user story here, and the type of test case I want functional, and the number of test cases I want to build 10 test cases, and this is my acceptance criteria. And acceptance criteria is the registration of collect name, email ID, password, and send the OTP for /email verifications. Okay, so this will be my acceptance criteria, and the user story is as a new user you want user want to register with email ID and phone, so that you can save the detail for the future reference, right? So that is the user story. So I'll just recap it. Here I have given my name, okay, and I can say this is my email ID qtpvivu, and this is the user story. So I want to create the test case for registration page. Okay, so then I want to design functional test cases. You can select any non-functional performance also, and then you have to go to the acceptance criteria. What will be your acceptance criteria? You have to send your registration should be successful with email ID and password, and it will send an OTP for the verifications. How many test cases you want to build it? For this user story, I want to build it 10 test cases. Just click on submit. So once you clicked on submit, this node will be executed successfully, and if you double click it, you will see the output is come up here in the tabular format. So you can also see that in schema format or JSON format. So these are the user story details, you will able to see it here. Okay, perfect. Now I'll go and add one agent, so that is called AI agent. I have to add this AI agent. In this AI agent, the once the user will send the information, the communication will go to the AI agent. Then from the AI agent will set his hand to the one of the LLM. So this is one of the LLM, free LLM I used to use. It's called Google Gemini chart model, and in this LLM you have to establish the connection, because this is a third-party system, right? So N10 need to communicate to chart model through AI agent. there will be a connection you have to establish. So how we will establish the connection? If you want to know, please go through my previous video and you will be able to see how you can establish the connection using get API keys or using your Google account. Okay, so I have already established the connection. I'll just go ahead and select it, and I'll go with the default model. I'm not going to change it, the model here. Close this. Okay, my model is ready now. So the communication, the information will send by the users, then it will go to the AI agent, then AI agent will start communicating to LLM to build the constructive response to the user. But the problem is here, so as we are not giving any prompt, what exactly will happen when the user will send the information? So AI agent will send the same set of information to LLM. So LLM will use their intelligence to build the response and send back the response to customers. The problem is here, there might be a possibility of hallucination. The user, whatever the response will expect, might be will not get, or might be will get hallucinated response. To avoid all such situations, we have to provide a constructive prompt so that my LLM will be controlled and my LLM will be only work done based on my prompt I have given, and it will return the results to the customer. Okay, so this is my prompt. I will just quickly show you here. So this is my prompt. I'll going to send this prompt to you in my descriptions. You can go ahead and take it. So this is the prompt. As you are a QA agent, create. This is the number of test case. This is parameterized, and this is the test type, and the test case including positive and negative flow in X-ray plus Jira format, and store in a HTML table. Okay, why I'm storing that in a HTML table? Because my end goal is to send that list of test cases over the email to the customer. Okay, so for the following user story, these are the acceptance criteria, these are the user story, and these are some disclaimer I have given, or you can say these are some conditions I have given to the LLM. You have to follow this. You have to mention the author, mention the environment, user story, acceptance criteria. You have to do your color codings so that it will be looks nice, right? So I'll go here, I'll copy this prompt. Okay, and I'll copy this prompt. I'll go back to my AI agent, and here you have to select defined below instead of connected to a chart trigger node, because I want to consider, I want to control my LLM using my prompt. I don't want to control my LLM based on the input given by the user. Okay, so if you see here, so I'll just couple of parameter I have to replace it. So this is I'll just replace it. So if you see here, I want to replace create how many number of test case. So this is the number of test case I want to create. Okay, I put this the number of test case. Then this is my type of test case I want to build it. Then next thing is, I have to use my user story, and this is my acceptance criteria. That's it, all said done. Okay, so I'll just close it, and I'll just close this node also. Okay, the last step is what I have to do. Once the test case is built, once the test case is generated, I don't want to do anything. My agent is need to send an email to me based on the email ID I have given. That email ID, in that email ID I will get my response. Okay, so I'll quickly go to my Gmail box. I will show you. This is my Gmail box, and this is my email ID I have given in the input online submission form. So if you see, I don't have any email ID now, I don't have any test case mail. Okay, now I'll back to my flow. I'll add one Gmail node. Okay, just you search Gmail here. If you see the Gmail came, okay, you just click on it. What exactly you want to perform, so accordingly you have to select your subnodes. So I want to send an email. Just you have to use send a message. Then here same approach, because this is a third-party system, you have to establish the connection from N10. So this is my connection detail, credential detail. I just select it, and the resource I want to send a message, operation I want to send. okay, to email, to whom you want to send the email, right? So I want to send the email to the user, whatever the email ID is given, right? That is the email ID. And what subject you want to write? I want to write the subject like test type hyphen test cases. Okay, so let me show you test cases. It means that if you provide functional, then it will, the subject will come functional hyphen test cases. Perfect. So next I'll back to my node. Okay, then the email type is HTML and message. What exactly the message you want to put it? I have already written the message. I'll just copy paste it just to save some time. Okay, so this is my message. I'll just explain, no worries at all. Okay, so I'll just go here, I'll put my body. Okay, what exactly the body is talking about? Dear user. Okay, the user is nothing but your name, right? So this is my name. If you want, this name is coming from my online submission form, right? So I have to just drag and drop. So if you provide Vivu, then it will come dear Vivu. Okay, similarly, then please find below. Okay, please find below, please find below. Okay, please find below test cases. Please find below how many number of test cases, right? 10, right? You have given 10 test cases, right? Number of test cases. Please find below 10 test cases, 10 test cases generated by AI agent. Okay, and then next is you have to just put the output. Whatever the output is going to come from LLM, you have to put that. Okay, so that's it. You have to close this node. Once you close this node, your entire workflow is ready. Let me restructure, realign my workflow. Yes, my workflow is perfectly looks nice. Okay, so now what I have to do, I have to just go ahead and click on execute workflow. Okay, so I let me, before connect to my mailbox, let me execute once how is reacting. Okay, so here I'll just provide my name is Vibhu Sundar, or I can provide my email ID is called qtpvivu@gmail.com. Make sure that your email ID is correct, or else it will, your mail will not send to your mailbox. Okay, so this mail is correct. User story, I'll just copy the user story quickly. Okay, so this is my user story. Okay, I want to, as a new user, I want to create the register, no, test case for the registration. Okay, and this is my acceptance criteria. Okay, and this is my acceptance criteria, and I want to create the functional test case. Okay, and then the next step is I want to create 10 test cases, or you can say 20 test cases. That's completely fine also. Okay, so I'll just recap here. I have given my email ID, I have given my name, email ID, and the user story, and the type of test case is functional. This is my acceptance criteria. I want to generate the number of test cases called 20. Let me trigger it. So once I triggered, so if you go back to my flow, it's immediately send the information to AI agent. Then AI agent started communicating with the LLM. Based on the prompt, LLM will start working and concentrate about anti-hallucination, and it will build the constructive response for the user. Once the response is ready, I mean to say the test case is ready, then it will going to send the list of test case over the email to the user. Okay, so but in this case now it will not send, because I intentionally not connected to Gmail. Just I want to verify the output before I'll connect to the Gmail. Yes, my output is looks perfectly nice. So let me go to my output. Yes, my output looks nice. Let me go to Gmail and I'll open my Gmail. Okay, so Gmail, let me connect this. Output is coming perfect. Then I have to check my mail body once I have passing the output or not. Okay, Perfect. So this is the time now to test the entire workflow. Okay, so I'll just simply just click on execute workflow. Once I click on execute workflow, I'll put, let's assume I'll put the customer name is called Satya, and I'll give the email ID is called qtpbivu@gmail.com. Okay, Satya qtpbivu@gmail.com, just to double check my email ID. And this is my user story. I'll put it. Okay, and I'll put the acceptance criteria. Okay, and type also I'll select functional. Acceptance criteria I will put it, and I'll put the number of test cases. This time I want to generate only 10 test cases. Okay, so I'll just click on submit. Let me check it the details once again. Name, email ID is correct, qtpbivu@gmail.com. Story, functional, test case, and number of test cases. Okay, I'll just submit. So I'll back to my workflow. Now if you see, the execution is started and